not prepared.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Brandon.
This is episode 8. We're going to talk about Zangarmarsh and slave pens. So we're going to start off with Zangarmarsh, the whole area. We're not going to talk about every little detail of Zangarmarsh, but it is a hauntingly beautiful swamp covered with a forest of giant mushrooms. Though largely teeming with life, sections of the swamp have begun to die as of late, and the sapient fungi of the region seek help in returning it to life. This zone is located in Outland to the west of Hellfire Peninsula. And like Brandon said before, if Hellfire Peninsula is full and you can't really do anything, just keep running west and just start in Zangarmarsh if you're 60.
Yeah, although I'm sure from what I've read from different people, they had the same idea, and I'm sure Zangarmarsh and Hellfire Peninsula both are going to be just jam-packed. It's just going to be more or less pick your poison as to which one you want to do.
Yep.
Let's see.
Now, can you still play like in the high-level zones in vanilla and maybe get some of the XP, or you more or less you need to go to Hellfire?
You can still, even at 60, you can still go over to like... is it Eastern Plaguelands? I do believe. I think so. Eastern or Western, one of the two, still has stuff that you can do at 60 that would still get you XP. There's still quite a few zones. There's still some zones in vanilla that you could get XP from if you wanted to go and do those quests. Because I know you don't finish all the quests to get to 60, so I would say the Plaguelands. There's some stuff in those areas that you could probably do, and what is it, Winter Spring? I think. I think you might be able to get some experience in Winter Spring as well. So if you didn't want to go straight to TBC, you don't have to, as far as leveling once you're at 60. But most people are going to want to do that.
Eastern Plaguelands is 55 to 60.
Okay.
And then Winter Spring is 55 to 60 also.
Yeah.
And then Silithus is also 55 to 60.
Yeah. You can hit those and do it. Because, I mean, believe it, before TBC's out, guys, I'm going to have a guide that's going to tell you exactly what you can do. If you have a 5-man group, it's going to tell you exactly what you can do, the dungeon you can run, to where you'll be exalted with all the factions, and you'll be Kara attuned or 1 or 2 steps away from it, and you'll be able to do heroic dungeons. I think there's 16 new dungeons, and I think you'll have the 13 out of the 16. The only ones you won't be able to do are the ones like Alcatraz, because you have to fly to those.
Yeah.
So those you'll have to be 70, and you'll have to.
Well,
I
thought there was a place to port to on the side. Did you talk to a guy and like I don't know why I was thinking.
They may port you one time, but I don't even think they do it that. I do believe the only way that I was able to get up there the very first time before I had a mount was we had a warlock go up on the Alcatraz deal, and he ended up summoning me up there so I could get up there with the guys to do it.
Oh, I remember you telling me about that, so yeah, I think you're right.
So you have to have flying in order to get it, or you have to have somebody summon you up there, which you can also have somebody summon you to Outlands if you're not 58. Just FYI. But you'll get killed by the first boar you see.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know now. You don't want to go hit 58 unless you're 60. Or you don't want to hit any of these places like Zangarmarsh, especially until you're 60, because Zangarmarsh is higher than Hellfire Peninsula.
Oh, yeah.
But some of the... Let's see here. Zangarmarsh consists of a large expanse of swampland. bordered by mountains to the north, south, and to some extent the east. A long stretch of coastline forms the western edge of the zone. Giant mushrooms are characteristic features of the area, towering above the pools of marsh water like great trees. Zangarmarsh contains 4 instances, which we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about 3 of them. One of them is a 25-man raid. They're all located in Coolfang Reservoir. This area has no battlegrounds or micro dungeons, but it does have some World PvP dungeons or World PvP areas, and there's a graveyard nearest to the Coolfang Reservoir entry. That's the PvP zone for a graveyard. Let's see. As of, I don't know if they're going to put this in or not, because this was in a patch from back in vanilla. But the Alliance, the graveyard only works for the slave pins instances, as the distance to instance portals is used instead of the distance to the Coolfang entry. So I don't know if that'll be right away or not. But if it is, if you're an Alliance, the graveyard only works for the slave pins. Otherwise, you're going to go back to the zone graveyard, and you'll have to run from there. But either way, it's not very long, and Coolfang Reservoir is right in the middle, so you'll be able to find it pretty easy. Getting to there from Hellfire Peninsula. For Alliance, you'll have to go from the Temple of Tel Hamat in Hellfire Peninsula. You'll head south to the main road through the zone, and you'll follow the road west into Zangarmarsh. It's really easy to find. For Horde, you'll go from Falcon Watch in Hellfire Peninsula. You'll head north to the main road through the zone and follow the road west into Zangarmarsh. So if you're both running together, Horde and Alliance might end up on the same road running there, but just don't mess with them and just go straight to the zone. I think I don't know, as far as Zangarmarsh itself, I like it just, I like some of the lore of it, but mainly I like it just because of how it looks. It's all mushroomy and kind of swampy. You don't run through, like, as a gnome, you'll have to do some swimming, but other than that, anybody else should be able to just run through it, and there shouldn't be a problem.
Just remember, when you're fighting Nagas, they are humanoids, so when they get low on health, they will run away and try to get other people to come help them. So you have a potential aggro other mobs. So just be careful around them, because there's Naga everywhere.
Yeah.
Now there's
the Broken. There's also in there.
Just remember, it's also they have a World PvP, really small. Smaller than Hellfire Peninsula has. The Twin Spire Ruins. Capture the 2 beacons of Twin Spire Ruins. Objectives: obtain a flag from Alliance Field Scout or the Horde's Field Scout to capture the graveyard and gain the Twin Spire Blessing buff in the zone for your faction. You can also obtain Mark of Honor Hold or Mark of Thralmar for PvP kill blows in this zone, which can be used at vendors.
Yeah. It's a 5% damage increase. If you have the PvP zones, it's a 5% damage increase while you're inside of Zangarmarsh or any of the dungeons inside Zangarmarsh.
Yep. And Zangarmarsh has access to Hellfire, Terracar Forest, the Grand and Blake Edge Mountains are around them. They're adjacent.
Yeah, Blaze Edge Mountains. Blaze Edge Mountains are pretty high, though. You don't want to go into any
you
of
do
those.
not want to go there. I think that's the highest level. Or no, wait, but there's one more, isn't there? I can't remember.
No, I think that is the highest one.
Yeah, that is the highest one. That is the highest one.
Over here.
Yeah, because that's 65 to 68. And,
yeah.
So that's it for Zangarmarsh. We'll move on to the first dungeon instance, and that's the Slave Pens.
Yeah. Let's see, the Slave Pens is the first 5-man wing within Coolfang Reservoir. The instance is harder than both the Blood Furnace and Hellfire Ramparts, but the loot drops are of much greater quality. Some of the noted things that will come out later in the patch is they do a Midsummer Fire Festival, and there'll be a new boss in the slave pen called Lord Ahune.
Yep.
That won't happen until later. Just kind of giving you guys a heads up on it.
Yeah, 'cause I
Let's
think
see.
it just went on and gave one of the little festival.
Yeah, we just had one of the. I don't know if it was the Midsummer
Yeah,
Fire
I
Festival.
don't think it
but
was.
I know we just had one.
I can't remember which one it was. Had the elders and stuff like that in there.
Let's see. I'm just kind of going through
You'll
here, seeing if
get
there's any.
Cenarian Expedition reputation through friendly, and then through exalted on heroic.
Yeah.
Now I don't remember what the average run on normal is, but heroic will roughly give you about 1850 rep.
I want to say I haven't looked at my little things, so I want to say it's around 1,000, a little over 1,000.
That's what I was thinking you said last time. So.
But I'm just looking through here to find out if there's any other things that kind of that I kind of wanted. I would want to point out, but I don't see anything else in here.
Yeah.
Now to get, you got to swim down in Coalfang Reservoir. You have to swim down in order to get to these places, and I can't remember.
So in the middle of the lake, you'll see like a building type of thing in the middle, and right in the middle of that, you swim down and you'll see a pipe. You just swim down there and swim to the side, and you go up a little bit, and there you go.
That's right. Okay.
Now, when you go in here, normal mode, I believe mobs hit between 200 to 300 normal hits. So if you're a tank, make sure you can take those hits.
Yeah.
So that just kind of gives you an idea. Now, I forgot to mention, what level is this?
This zone is okay. The bosses in it are 72 elites. So you're looking at probably around 64.
62 to 64 is what the level range is. That doesn't mean you can't can't go in there later. It's just said to get really good experience points and stuff like that. It just suggests 62 to 64, and an approximate time is about 1 to 2 hours long. I'm going to talk about Menu the Betrayer. Now, after betraying his kind to the Naga under Lady Vash's rule, Menu the Betrayer and many fellow broken subordinates now guard the slave pens in the Coalfang Reservoir. Now, it's likely that many of the broken found in cages throughout Coalfang Reservoir are there because of Menu's treachery. Now, he is an example of a broken who has found a way to turn Illidan's reign of terror to their advantage. By betraying his fellow Janai, he gained favor with his Naga overlords. Now, his betrayal has tainted his shaman training, and he now wields corrupted totems, which make him a formidable opponent for any group. So, he's the first of 3 bosses. He's got 77,000 health. He's got about 6,700 mana. And then his spells abilities, he's got Menu's Healing Ward. And his heals Menu for 1% of his total life every second. So, it might not sound like much, but it is if it keeps taking and keeps taking and keeps taking and keeps taking. It could add up. Tainted Earth Grab Totem, periodically casts an AoE Entangling Roots, causes very low, 72 a tick on heroic, but we don't, and damage, and has a relatively small range. Tainted Stone Skin Totem gives Menu a large boost in armor, reducing damage from melee. Corrupted Nova Totem explodes after 5 seconds for around 2,500 fire damage to everyone in a 10-yard radius of the totem. So if you can get it down, get it down. Now, is also Lightning Bolt, deals 1,000 to 1,600 nature damage, cast only on the character who currently has aggro, and is uninterruptible. So if he starts casting Lightning Bolt, You can't interrupt it, so don't even worry about stopping it. Now, fighting him is an endurance test. He has 60,000 hit points and healing abilities, but doesn't put out a lot of damage. It is, however, critical because totems be killed relatively quickly. So, kind of assign somebody on totems, get somebody that does some good DPS, probably.
They can be. I think they can be taken down with any level 1 spell.
Okay.
They're just they go down really quick.
Okay. Now he passed up and down a ramp, which you use to get Rockmar the Crackler. The mobs at the bottom of the ramp pull in 2 separate groups, so neither of them must be pulled to kill the boss. Minu can be pulled at range as he is going up the ramp, and he will not aggro the groups at the base of the ramp. After he's dead, these groups can be avoided by going around behind the ramp to the other side and up the ramp. Now, lower level characters may aggro these mobs after the boss is defeated when mounting the ramp. Healers should not have any trouble healing through damage. An excellent strategy to have the tank walk backwards in a large circle while keeping aggro on Minu. This will ensure that he is out of range of his totems most of the time. Now, note that hitting his corrupted Nova totem will cause it to go off instantly, so avoid shooting it whenever possible. Any class can one-shot the totems, like you said, so even the healer can deal with most of them via wanding, simple melee damage, or rank 1 Earthshock Moonfire. Now, Grounding Tome will absorb lightning bolts, and warriors can use Spell Reflection on them. And that's it. So, in normal, he drops some cloth legs called Princely Rain Leggings. It's got 18 stamina, 28 intellect, 12 spirit, and you got to be 62 to equip all of these. And if you equip it, it's got a hit rating of 18 and it increases spell power by 33. And then there's a main hand sword called Spellfire Longsword. It's got 15 stamina, 14 intellect. If you equip it, it improves hit rating by 10 and increases spell power by 56. Okay, and then it drops a male waist piece called Tracker's Belt. If you put it on, it's got 21 agility, 21 stamina, and when it's equipped, it improves hit rating by 14, improves critical strike rating by 21, and increases attack power by 42. Male chest piece called Vest of Living Lightning. It's got 12 stamina, 15 intellect. It's got a red, blue, and yellow socket, and there's a socket bonus with a +5 to spell power. And if you equip it, it increases spell power by 18 and restores 6 mana per 5 seconds. And then a one-handed dagger called Waste Walker Shiv. It's got 12 stamina. And if you equip it, it improves hit rating by 12 and increases attack power by 28. And then also, for you leather workers, drops a pattern called Nature Armor Kit. And it's one charge.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's a good armor kit.
Right. Now it's your turn.
All right. And that was Menu. And then I think after menu, you go up. There's a ramp you go up. You kill some guys up there. It's not too far away. Pretty much after you go through, there's a room that you come into after you kill him. You'll kill some guys in it. And right around that area is Rockmar the Crackler. He is a bog struck, a very giant bog struck. He looks like he's got like 96,000 health. Anywhere from 96,000 to 168,000. I think 168,000 is on heroic.
Yeah.
Rockmar the Crackler is the lord of the Zangarmarsh Bogstruck. Resides in the slave pens. Somehow Rockmar has grown to insane proportions for a Bogstruck. The Naga have somehow subjugated him into protecting their subterranean domain, or perhaps they have simply allowed him to remain in sight in his notorious rage on intruders. If threatened, he will engage and kill any creature that does not belong in his domain by using his tearing claws and water blasting abilities. He has a few abilities. He has Grievous Wound. It's a bleed debuff. It causes the target to bleed for 900 physical damage every 2 seconds until the player with the debuff has been healed to full health. Divine Shield and Stone Form will remove this. The debuff is not timed, and it will last until you are dead or you're cured. Like it says, the only way to cure it is to heal the character to full health. Once the character hits full health, that debuff will drop off. Water Spit, AoE, deals 16 to 1800 frost damage to nearby targets. Frost resist would be useful, and it saves the healers on mana, but it's not. You don't have to have it. It's not necessary. The healer will. You can't. The healer can't aggro this guy easily. So the healer shouldn't have to worry about it. His range. The range of this is like 40 yards. So hunters and mages can stay out of range depending on their spec and should be able to hit him. He also casts Ensnaring Moss. Increases attack speed and casting time by 50%. The range is about 30 yards. If you're healing, be sure to get out of this. It's sure to wipe the group if the healer gets hit with this because it does increase casting time by 50%. And you have to keep your tank topped off, and you have to especially keep people topped off if they get that debuff. He only enrages in Heroic, so we don't have to worry about that. One of the strategy of it is just take your time. It's really easy. If a tank loses aggro, you'll be in trouble. When he enrages, you must lay down heavy heals. That's only in Heroic, so you don't have to worry about that. To save everyone, if the tank is dead and Rockmore is nowhere near dying, all your remaining group members can jump into the pools of water. Rockmore's gigantic, but he can't swim. He's a gigantic prawn, but he can't swim. So when you jump into the water, you'll exit combat mode. In that moment, Rockmore will go back to patrolling. Just get out of the range of his water spit. If you make it near the ramp, you'll be far enough away. Note that if you jump into the western pool, you'll have to walk the long way around to return to Rockmore. So try to jump into the southeastern pools. The water spit attack. Rockmore occasionally attacks with Water Spit. The attack is an AoE frost-based attack, so frost resist of any kind is good. Paladins can put up the frost resistance aura. Healers, there's a way for healers to escape this attack if the tank positions himself so that he is between Rockmore and the healer. The 40-yard range of the healer will place them just outside of the 40-yard range of Water Spit. So it'll save mana that the healers would otherwise have to use on themselves. Everyone else should hang in fairly close to the tank so they can be in range of the healers. Don't be afraid. Interrupts such as Silence, Earth Shock, Kick, War Stomp, and Shield Bash do not work. Heal yourself with bandages if you have to after he hits you with the Water Spit, just to help healers with mana. Alright, his most devastating attack is a bleed effect, which will increase the already tremendous amount of damage per second over time. That's called the Grievous Wound attack. We talked about it earlier. What it is, like I said, it just ticks until you heal the person to full. This fight is a cakewalk with two good healers, as a shaman and a druid or priest work very well together, because they can keep the tank from bleeding out with single healing cast. With a single healing class. It's easy to run out of mana trying to keep up with the bleed for this reason. That's why having two healer and an off healer is good. Keeping tank health high and immediately healing to full when the bleed hits is advisable, though not always possible. So it's it's pretty easy. Dwarven Stone Form will take you out of it, but that's a 2-minute cooldown, so watch for that. And like I mentioned, if anybody can throw your bandage on yourself and help with heals, that helps as well. Beating him is pretty easy, and after you beat him, he does have some drops. He has a Bogstrock scale cloak. Everything that I'm going to tell you is level 62 to use. But he has a Bogstrock scale cloak. It has 271 armor, 22 stamina. increases defense rating by 16. Calming Spore Reed, which is a wand. It is 97 damage per second, and it's frost damage if anybody cares. It's 8 intellect, 9 spirit. It increases spell power by 11. He drops the Cool Fang Hammer of Renewal. It is a main hand mace, 41.42 damage per second. 10 stamina, 13 intellect, 12 spirit, and it increases spell power by 56. And then you have the Cool Fang Needler. It is a crossbow, 72.1 damage per second, has 12 agility, 17 stamina, and increases attack bar by 22. And then he has the Runed Fungal Cap, which is a trinket. Now, being called a Runed Fungal Cap is weird. I figured it would be a helmet, but
yeah,
it's a trinket. Improves resilience rating by 30, and if you use it, it absorbs 440 damage and lasts 20 seconds. Resilience rating to me was a PvP skill,
yeah,
but I think they changed it. I don't think they ever changed it. I think people just got this mainly for the click effect, which absorbed 440 damage. So, but that's his drops on regular, and he's pretty easy, not too bad. He's really big, has quite a few hit points, but if you have the decent healers, they won't have a problem healing you through it.
Yep. And then once you get through him, you keep on trucking. You'll eventually get to the third and the final boss of Slave Pins called Quagmire. Now, I keep thinking Quagmire every time I see this name.
Yeah, no.
So, Giggity is the last boss.
Yeah.
All right. So, now, he's a fungal giant, so he's going to be big. And he's an ancient bog lord who has presumably resided for a great length of time within the natural cave systems that the Coalfang Naga appropriated as their domain. Now, it is unknown whether he is controlled by the Naga. So, he's got about 100,000 health to 180,000 health. Now, that's probably, normal and heroic.
Yeah, normal and heroic.
And, let's see. Now, his abilities, Acid Geyser. Quagmire selects one random party member and initiates a channeled code, AoE, nature damage attack in the direction of that party member. During the Acid Geyser, the tank may taunt Quagmire to force the boss to force the attack on him for the duration of the taunt debuff. But Quagmire will turn back to his original target when the debuff ends if the Acid Geyser timer has not yet finished. After the channel is done, Quagmire will run after the party member he was targeting, ignoring the tank. It is not clear if this is a complete aggro wipe. And then he also has a Poison Bolt Volley. Standard AoE Poison Bolt Volley hitting for 2.5k nature damage with added Dispel Poison Dot. So, one of the strategies prior to engaging this boss, remember to unlock and free Naturalist Bite if you have the quest. When you free him, 3 Naga will spawn. Make sure you are ready for him. After freeing him, you can talk to him and he will buff you with a 30-minute Walk of the Bite, which grants you 110 nature resistance and plus 5% of all stats. This will help with the Poison Dot and his AoE as both are nature based. And this guy is down in the water. What people normally do is somebody will go, like the tank will go attack him and pull him out of the water. Usually I think the tank might even walk around the edge and pull him that way. But
yeah.
But anyways, nature resist totem or is stacked with the Mark of the Bite buff and should be used if available. Hunter's Turtle Aspect of Wild. Shamans drop nature resistant totems. Aspect of Wild and nature resist totems do not stack, however. The fight is primarily a tank and spank fight with healers concentrating on healing the tank and cleansing the dot from the Poison Bolt Volley. So just fight him. If you are one of those classes, throw those out. Just remember, like I said, the Aspect of Wild nature resistant totems do not stack. So if you got one or both, or if you got one or the other, make sure you do it. But if you got both, there's no reason to do both. All right, now after you down him, all the normal drops are level 62 to equip them. First one's a plate legs called Azure Plate Greaves. It's a 33 strength, 27 stamina, and 26 intellect. If you equip it, it restores 6 mana per 5 seconds. Leather hands called Deft Handguards. It's got 18 stamina. It's got a blue and a yellow socket, and if you socket them both properly, it's got +3 hit rating. If you equip it, it improves critical strike rating by 12 and increases attack power by 52. Male shoulders called Scorpion Sting Mantle. It's got 21 agility and 12 stamina. It's got a red and blue socket, a socket bonus of +3 intellect, and after you equip it, it increases attack power by 30 and restores 6 mana per 5 seconds. And then it's got a back piece with 15 stamina and 15 intellect. If you equip it, it improves your critical strike rating by 11 and increases spell power by 19. And then the plate chest piece. 26 strength, 21 agility, and 23 stamina. 2 red sockets and a blue socket. It was a socket bonus of +4 to defense rating. And that's it.
Yeah, this boss is pretty easy.
I don't ever remember this boss being hard, so...
One of the strategies that works really well, too, is if you have people who are competent and you can actually stack up close to him, and when he turns around to do his cone ability on one of your characters, if you just run through him, it won't hit anybody. And then just run back behind him again when the tank turns him around away from the group.
Yeah.
Because if people stand out everywhere and you're all spread out, and if he goes to hit one person with it, you can't, and it's going to hit everybody else. But if you stay stacked up, when he turns around to do the cone, just run through him, and then you're on the back side of him, and then it's not hitting anybody.
Cool.
If you want to hear us do anything about the heroic side, let us know. Drop us a line in the comments or anything like that. If you do a review on the podcast, go ahead and just let us know that you want us to do the heroic version, and then we'll do it.
Yep. And we do have links on Warcraft Radio that they put a lot of the World of Warcraft Blizzard podcasts on there. Please, if you'd like, go give us a review on there also. We would greatly appreciate it. Give us a review on like iTunes and stuff like that. If we would greatly appreciate that.
Oh, yeah.
And if you think of anything else you want us to talk about, want us to bring up during the podcast, we're about to do, if we know anything news-wise, we'll do that here in a second. But if you want to hear us talk about anything else, then let us know, because once these dungeons get done, of course, we'll hopefully have a lot of stuff to talk about then, but we want your ideas of what you want to hear.
Yes, let us know anything that you want to hear about, and we will, if you have any questions or anything like that, I or Chris will do the research on it, and we can get back with you. We'll do a whole podcast about it if we think that it's long enough.
Yep. Is there any news?
Not that there's news, but the news that I've got is going to be a whole podcast.
Okay.
Because there's some pretty good
they
news.
have mentioned a date of May the 18th of when the cloning, I think, is what it said. Is that what? Am I right on that?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's not official, but that's what has been brought up whenever they put somebody found the classic PTR new global strings. I looked through here. Most of it was like reading Chinese, and some of it was kind of interesting. it just says like activate clone, but it has a picture of like the login. It says you know, clone or keep or transfer or whatever. I can't really
that's going to be.
remember.
I do believe that's what it's going to look like for everybody. But I know that they're inviting friends and family.
Yeah.
I think they're inviting friends and family of Blizzard member, like people who work for Blizzard. They're doing friends and family. They're doing like big time streamers, and they're going to do a wave of to other people as well to beta test it. So if we get lucky, we will get a beta test key. If one of us gets lucky, we'll get a beta test key. If both of us if we get really lucky, we'll both get one. So that's something to look forward to. If we do get it, one of us get it, that person will be streaming for sure, showing some of the TBC stuff out.
If we're able to, if there's no...
I don't think there'll be restrictions on streaming it if it's on beta.
If it's on beta, yeah. But if we get in earlier than that, then yeah.
Yeah.
They might let us record it and I'll post it late, when I can. But I don't know. I'm hoping to get something because I might not play it as much as a lot of the other people, but I will want to go in there and check it out and do stuff. So kind of get the feel for it before it actually comes out,
Yep.
And all right, yeah, because I'll post a picture on the video if I remember correctly. And but it shows, just when you log in, it kind of explains it, I think, and then you get to choose. But I don't know, it all might change. I might have it wrong. You never know. But all right, well, I think that's it. Unless you know of anything else.
No, I think that's good.
All right, and next week we'll be talking about. Next week we'll be talking about the Underbog and the Steam Vault.
Yeah, those are fun.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that, and have fun playing game.
As always.
This show is brought to you by Heartland Production Entertainment. If you'd like to help to make the show better, go to patreon.com/heartlandpae.